Top Preps Player Interviews by Sunil Sunder. Tonight, I'm happy to be speaking with Eric Bell Jr., a junior at Norco High School in Norco, California, and a cornerback on the varsity football team. Once again, Eric, thank you so much for taking time out to speak with me. And hey, congrats on your success. Playing on the varsity football team at Norco High School. Of course, getting ready for here the 2024 season, your senior year. But can you just talk about, last year and just your time, there again playing on the varsity football team?
Last year, it was a awakening call. It was
Hmm.
trying to get adjusted to new things. New head coaches, new people,
Hmm.
new team, trying to fit in. Not the easiest thing if you would for a high school kid, but
Yeah.
season was good. Only went 3-7, so didn't really win as much as we wanted to, but. We got
Hmm.
guys coming back who are hungry and devoted and pushing in the weight room and on the field. We go crazy.
Yeah.
So just trying to make it better, made it better than what it was last year.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think just getting that experience under your belt, and then taking that, what you learned from, again from that season, from the 2023 season. Now coming back a year later, as you said, look, once a season ends, it's like not even several weeks later, you get right back in the weight room and start, the strength and conditioning, and it's again 24/7, 365. You really can't take a day off here. Just talk about in terms of training for a season. You're 6'1", 180. Again, a cornerback on the team, running as a 4.6 in the 40-yard dash. Just in terms of your own personal regimen, what you've been able to do that has helped you, especially for the rigors of a football season, which is very demanding. You take a lot of bumps and bruises during the course of a season. Eric, what has worked out for you, so far here?
Stretching,
Yeah.
stretching, rolling out,
Yeah.
cryotherapy if it's
Mhm.
possible, and thermogun massages.
Yes.
Um, it's more to me. It's more about recovery because I'm a little bit on the skinny side, but
Mhm.
for recovery, just so I can always stay ahead of the game. Never just be okay with being mediocre.
Mhm.
Got to push every day so you can recover just like the way you push, so you can
Yeah.
give 180 back. So that's my biggest thing is just the recovery process. A lot of people don't make it mandatory. They just
Mhm.
kind of go over it, not really. Yeah, like I said, make it mandatory.
Yeah. No, definitely. I think that's outstanding. I think just that, again, have that blueprint in place. You talk about nutrition as well, rest and recovery. You talked about, a couple of said in terms of the factors that you utilize, but I think that's important. Then of course, your mental preparation. Everybody talks about the physicality of football, but I don't think they understand just in terms of being mentally focused and sharp, because when you're out there 4 quarters and battling, said in the trenches, it really could take a toll on you. And again, just being laser focused, I'm sure for you, again, is something that's paramount as well, Eric.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The easiest way I go about my mental is I pray about it. I let my
Hmm.
my Lord and Savior take over because
Hmm.
He is the one for me who guides everything He has. I'm just the flesh for Him. I also just like to think of it as a leader role. If
Hmm.
I'm not stable and I'm the leader of the team, they're gonna look at me and see me not stable, and they're all gonna
Yeah,
freak out. So
for
I
sure.
have to hold composure until it's until the fourth quarter to the 0-0. I was on the scoreboard. That's
Yeah.
that's the easiest way I handle my mental preparation before a game and in and out of practice.
Yeah, it's terrific. And let's talk about game day and practices. Putting those pads on, wearing that Cougars number 8 jersey and helmet. Talk about how satisfying that is. How much pride and joy you take in wearing that jersey and helmet.
Man, it comes with heavy show. It comes with like a heavy task. I
Yeah.
got you got a whole community behind you. But I
Yeah.
love the Norco community. They welcome me very very with open arms. The coaches welcome me with open arms. But during the game, we just get a pregame lift, do what we need to do,
Hmm.
make sure our bodies are right, and then but just represent hearing the band in the crowd, hearing the
Yeah.
student section. all that is just so special, man. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I can't wait for this season just so we can feel that energy again.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing better than Friday night lights, Saturday afternoons during the fall. You talk about just entire experience, that environment, especially whether it's home or away games, and just being able to participate in that. And let's talk about this coaching staff. Head coach Daniel Barlich. He said last year, I think it was his first year. What is Coach Barlich meant to you, just in terms of your personal development, and just in terms of his leadership, on and off the sidelines.
I won't even lie. He has probably been the best coach I've had.
Hmm.
He takes his time and mentors kids. He doesn't want to just become. He doesn't just want us to become football players. He wants us to
Yeah.
become good men. He teaches us the our core values are faith, integrity, team, and then sport. But
Hmm.
he wants to instill in us that we're very good men. We're respectful. We hold doors. You know what I'm trying to say?
Hmm.
We were very good men in our community. But on the field, he keeps me straight, straight as a line.
Yeah.
He doesn't let me curve off because I'm special. He treats everybody like the way they're supposed to be treated. If you do if you poke the bear, you're gonna figure out,
Yeah.
But so
Yeah.
I really enjoy him as my coach. I love him to
Yeah.
death.
That's wonderful. That's great to hear. And let's just talk about playing the cornerback position. I said on defense, and again, you got 11 men on the on that side. Depending on everyone to do their job, fulfill their assignment. Talk about just in terms of once the snap is off and you're ready to go up against a wide receiver. Just what is filtering through your mind? I'm always interested from a player's perspective during the course of a game. Just really again because it's high level intensity. There's a lot of pressure, but just talk about playing that position specifically, Eric.
For me, it's win the rep
Yeah,
because your rep count, your snap count, especially in the past, it's not highly, it's not a lot
yeah,
right now. So if you win that rep, you win the day. You go against this 5 star who and you're underrated, and you make that play, your
hmm,
name gonna be out there, and that's my
yeah,
biggest thing. I love making plays. I love being in people's faces. I love,
yeah,
I love, I love that. I live for that intensity.
yeah,
Um, but probably mid play also, I try to clear my mind, not have
hmm,
nothing too much. Because to have
hmm,
too much, you overexert yourself. You don't play to who you are.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
that's me.
Yeah,
That's what I do
yeah,
mid play.
that's awesome. It's great to hear. And they talk about football, the friendships that you cultivate, the brotherhood, and now being an upperclassman now. So it's like, you're now coming full circle here. I'm wondering, like, when you were a freshman and learning from the seniors, and now you're able to pass down that knowledge and experience to the, underclassmen, what that moment is. And now, of course, with your senior season coming up, you're definitely going to be in that leadership role. I mean, how fulfilling is that for you, Eric?
Man, I've been waiting for this moment my whole life. Honestly, I'm the youngest. I'm the youngest in my siblings, so I've
Okay.
always been the one to try to lead, be the top dog. But
Yeah.
looking back, it's kind of sad because like, man, I'm a senior now, but I feel
Yeah.
so happy to give my underclassmen my abilities, teach them and the things that I didn't know. So I love being able to go out there every day and being like, you're not supposed to step here, because I was
Yeah.
never told that, and I feel like
Yeah.
if I was told that as a freshman, I'd be way better than what I am now.
Mhm.
But I remember playoff games and seeing people cry. It's like, man, why y'all crying? We have a whole other season. In my season,
Yeah.
in my time for shedding tears is here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm just trying to make sure that I can get my team to a point where I'm not shedding tears and we're holding up
Yeah.
rings and we're not popping champagne, popping. But
Yeah.
I can't wait. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I love being a leader, man. It was made for me. God made that role for me, and I'm trying to make it the best I can.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fabulous. I'm sure for you now, it's more really soaking in these moments and these experiences. And then when you, of course, get to the season and the practices, that's going to be, it's going to hit you, I think, probably at that time. And then, like,
Yeah.
really to every single day, week, and then of course as the months transpire. Uh, I'm just wondering, like that first time that you took the field there and put the jersey, the helmet on, what if you recall that, and just like what again, what was what were the vibes, it said, if you think back to that, your freshman year.
Man, it was just I used to live in Italy, so I didn't really have the
Okay.
opportunity to play youth football. So I
Okay.
was, I was a soccer kid. So I came in
All
there and I was just like,
right.
man, I've been want to play football my whole life. My
Yeah.
favorite receiver was Julio Jones. I want to do everything, like that. And I
Yeah.
touched the field and it was like, man, God, you put me in a position that I didn't think I'd be in today. So I just try to
Yeah.
glorify you in every way I can.
Yeah.
I stepped on that field and it was just something special. It just as soon as my cleats hit the turf, I knew
Yeah.
I was gonna go crazy. So man, yeah, it was like my heart was pure honey. I don't know, it was just
Yeah.
sweetness.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's great to hear. Hey, as you know, it's just not being an athlete, it's being a student athlete.
Yeah.
Just talk about balancing out that time management and organization. Your favorite subject is science. What is like worked for you just in terms of the game plan, like when it comes to academics, because there's so much pressure, and then you have so much time devoted towards football with the practices, the lifts, the games, then road games in terms of travel. I'm wondering what, just how you've been able to do it, again, effectively, because again, not everyone can meet that benchmark, and it's very difficult. So I'm just wondering, like, how you've been able to do it these first 3 years.
At first it was very hard.
Mhm.
I was just a kid, I was just trying
Yeah.
to play football. That's all I really know.
Yeah.
But it was really self-discipline.
Hmm.
My parents, at first they were hounding me, hounding me, hounding me. But their biggest thing was it's your life. I have mine. And
Hmm.
I didn't realize that until sophomore year, and it really hit me. And I wanted to take control of my life. I didn't want to just become a football player. I wanted to become a marine scientist. I had my
Yeah.
own
Okay.
goals and my own
Yeah.
aspirations.
Hmm.
And my sister, she goes to UCLA, so I
Yeah.
just I wanted to really beat her out and see where I can
Yeah.
go. Hopefully SC, but really wanted to make
Yeah.
my stake in this world, show that Eric Bell is something and it's gonna be
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
So
That's a very nice. That's great to hear. And what's so commendable, Eric, is that you also volunteer as an assistant coach on the Rancho Vejo, middle school basketball
yeah.
team. That's just again amazing. Just talk about that, experience, and just again how that has shaped you as well here.
Oh man, it made me feel like a father, honestly, trying to deal with a whole bunch of middle schoolers, man.
Yeah.
I thought it was easy, but I
Yeah.
guess when I was in middle school, I was a little twerp too. But that really shaped my mind in the whole just loving the community. Because
Mhm.
without community, there's nothing. It takes a village
Yeah.
to raise children. So I
Yes.
know I know I'm not the wisest and grownest man, but for me to be able
Hmm.
to help and give the best advice that I have for the middle schoolers going into a high school who might want to play football and they're asking me questions, I feel very very happy to be able to give good information and not just tell
Yeah.
somebody something and leave and then not have that information be
Hmm.
be marbleized, be stone. So yeah, man, that's what I probably enjoyed
Yeah.
about it the most. Was just the
Hey,
information I was able to give off.
yeah, I think that's great. I mean, just being able to pay it forward and again, teach the young kids, I said the ropes. I think that's really so, essential here, especially in the world we live in today. Hey, I wanted to just piggyback to Norco High School, just in terms of the student body, administration, athletic department, what they've meant to you, just again, along with your own personal growth and development these first 3 years, but also for the football team as well.
Man, the administration and they are all angels. They're
Yeah.
blessings. They make sure that your teachers are set. They make sure that you have everything you need, pencil, paper. I mean, you don't have anything, they'll come. They'll bring a whole book bag for you. They just
Hmm.
want to see you succeed. I love the training staff. The
Hmm.
recuperation. They have the best machines, the best
Hmm.
athletic trainer. They have the best athletic
Yeah.
trainer
Yeah.
I've ever seen. Mr. Ryan, he is top tier. I really love him.
Yeah.
He makes sure my anytime I'm tweaked or hurting or bruised, he makes sure I'm back out there the next day 100%. Yeah, man, my teachers, I love them all. Very sweet, very kind. They If I'm not getting a subject, they'll make sure I can spend an extra 30 after or extra 30 before, just so I
Hmm.
can understand, because they see I'm trying to go somewhere. I'm trying to succeed, instead of me just sitting in the back, headphones on, phone out,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
cruising.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, that's
that's
spectacular. Yeah, that's great. And I think the athletic training staff, the trainers, that those people, the behind the scenes work, they don't get the recognition that they truly deserve. And it's great that you point that out. And I think what they definitely receive their flowers. Hey, just in terms, you talked about community, also family support, your parents. You mentioned you have a sister that attends UCLA. What has your family meant to you, just in terms of this, their support along this academic and athletic journey here, and especially playing football as well?
they're my glue. Um,
Mhm.
Without them, I don't know
Yeah.
where I'd be.
Yeah.
I I'm very outgoing, and they're the only people who ever see me down and out. They're
Hmm.
the only people who have seen me very frustrated. I try not to put it out there, because the more frustration you put out, the more frustration you'll get back.
Yeah.
So I try, but they don't understand what they meant to me. They take me places, do things for me that a lot of kids don't have.
Hmm.
So I'm just so grateful. That's why I try to do the best by my name and make sure that people know who my parents are one day, and
Yeah.
they'll be recognized for sure. I promise. I
Yeah.
promise that.
That's special. That's great. Hey, go back to the game of football. What are some of the intangibles that stand out about this sport? You've been playing it for a while, and just what makes it so unique? Whether it's maybe the practices, the lifts, the game day, or even the games itself, that really makes you come back year after year here, Eric.
Man, learning work ethic.
Hmm.
Learning work ethic. No, the feeling of being down,
Hmm.
because a lot of people don't understand what it feels like to be down and out.
Yeah.
Having somebody yell at you in your ear and being like, and seeing how much you can take it to get to success.
Yeah.
Without those, it's football ain't nothing, because football builds men, and the people who don't, succeed in
Yeah.
football. I'm not saying they're not men, but
Yeah.
there's a difference. It's kind of like the military, if you want to be
Yes,
honest.
I
It's
agree.
very
Yeah,
rigorous.
that's a great analogy. Yes.
uh,
Yeah.
and just really going back to the work ethic part, it
Yeah.
teaches you how to wake up, do this, do this, do this, and then repeat it all over again.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't have good work ethics nowadays. So learning that at a young age, and at a very prime age of high school, it,
Hmm.
it helps in the long run. Especially with a good coach, it helps in the long run.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. I think being organized, having that structure, and you talked about it, I think, even beforehand, about the discipline as well. And I think, having those key elements in place, again, is so critical. Hey, this one popped into my head, is that in terms of whether it's college or NFL, any particular players that you pay close attention to and sort of try to take away maybe their, especially with the cornerbacks, in the NFL, like, that you take away some of maybe their tendencies and maybe try to apply it to your game as well here, Eric.
Probably AJ Terrell, out of Atlanta
Okay.
Falcons. AJ
Okay.
Terrell. I like Tariq Woolen out of Seattle,
Hmm.
and then upcoming Terrion Arnold. I just out of Alabama. He went to the
Okay.
Lions.
Okay.
But actually, receiver. I also do play receiver. I'm an athlete.
Okay. All right. That's
It
great. Yeah, I'm glad
usually
you
I
brought
go.
that up. Yeah, dude. Do not want to miss that out. Okay, go ahead.
As receiver, man, I'm only 6 foot, 6'1", but
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like I'm Megatron, so I love watching Megatron. But for pure route running, I like Calvin Ridley. I watch Calvin
Yes.
Ridley a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't just watch them. I watch the breakdowns. I watch their hips.
Hmm.
I watch
Hmm.
look at what their eyes are looking at, so I
Yeah.
can see and try to mimic what they do.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are key guys I watch. To me they're the
Yeah.
best, but who gonna tell you?
I'm glad you brought that up, because I again, apologize for that slip up with you playing wide receiver as well. So you're playing two way. and on offense. So let's talk about playing the wide receiver position. Again, it's you're going up. It must be like you're, again, like you're reversing it because you're a cornerback as well. So you basically get the gist of it. Like as a wide receiver, the competition you're going up against. So let's
Yeah.
talk about like in terms of the running the routes. Being in sync with your quarterback because there's a lot going on there and a lot
Right.
transpiring. So you really have to be quick on your feet. When when the snap it goes off and then you're on that, you're going one on one. So just
Yep.
describe that.
It's it's kind of exhilarating just because it's it's you against it's dang near you against you.
Yeah.
You gotta make this man do something so you can win. But I just like I just like really my favorite route is a fade, a go ball,
Hmm.
just
Yeah.
because I like showcasing my speed. I like
Hmm.
showcasing my vertical jump ability.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard because you wish you could throw yourself the ball sometimes because you think you're open when you're not. But
Yeah.
it just helps because playing DB and playing receiver it goes hand in hand. It's
Yeah.
like dancing because if I understand what you're trying to do,
Hmm.
I can make you do the opposite very
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it's a lot. It's a lot to think
Yeah.
about. But I try to
Yeah,
just
that's
clear.
I see you're a student in the game, man. Like, I think another interesting, dynamic is also watching film because
Yeah.
now with the technology, you're able to really, again, zero in again on the pros and cons, said, stuff you have to fix, and you have to work on in terms of your skills and your development. And I think that's great. That's great. And that was going to be the next topic I was going to talk about was social media highlight videos, Huddle, X formerly known as Twitter, Instagram. So it just again, there's a lot to break down there. But again, for you, since you're so familiar with those positions, so I'm sure a lot of this stuff, sometimes probably comes naturally to you, and then be able to showcase your talent on film and utilize these platforms. I mean, that's so beneficial. It's a huge bonus for you, Eric.
Yeah, that's what my dad said. He said, "I wish when I had this when I was growing up,
Yeah.
I'd be Michael Jordan right now." But yeah, I try to use it for the best of my
Yeah.
ability.
Yeah.
Put out what I can.
Hmm.
A lot of people they use Twitter and they're on it 24/7. I
Yeah.
sadly I did come to the game a little bit late on the Twitter, but
Hmm.
I'm just trying to recover, make the best I can, put my stamp on this social media aspect of the game. It's
Yeah.
two sides. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's tremendous because in terms of getting, the coaches, the recruiters, the scouts to look at your film and, and I'm sure, and especially being from California and football is huge out there, I said, obviously one of the biggest states, I said in the country and, you have a lot of eyes on you. And I'm sure that, again, that's something, you definitely want is that visibility and that exposure as well, Eric.
Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah, I try not to think about it though, because a
Hmm.
lot of people
Hmm.
they'll let it go to your head.
That's true.
you know,
Yeah.
I try to live it day by day.
Yeah.
Try not to take too much in. Try not to overthink because when you, as I said before, if you try to overdo what you normally do, you're
Hmm.
gonna mess up somehow.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
just try to take it day by day.
That's a great attitude, and just to keep things in perspective. And yeah, I think that's again, you hit it spot on. Hey, let's talk. I mean, just so much that you have to contend with in terms of academics and athletics, but some of your hobbies are fishing and being outdoors. And I think getting that fresh air, that vitamin D, I think again is a true blessing. Just talk about being able to kick back, relax. Just not have to think about. I said. Uh, focusing on those those tasks, how again, just for you personally, just being able to enjoy life.
I really enjoy it just because I get the time to hang out with my dad.
Hmm.
Being an African American male, a lot of people don't have their father figures. My dad didn't have
Yeah.
his father figure,
Hmm.
so and he didn't get to enjoy the things that I do with him. So I try to
Yeah.
make sure I create core memories with my father because without him, I don't know where I'd be. But
Yeah.
being outside, I love it. I also love the competition of just fishing, seeing who can catch the
Yeah.
biggest fish, more fish. You know,
Yeah.
but it teaches humility,
Mhm.
because some
Mhm.
days you don't catch anything. You go
Yeah.
weeks and weeks and not catch a thing, and you did the joy you feel when you see your rod bend and all that. It's just,
Yeah.
it shows that time and effort pays off.
Yeah.
Work pays off. The more you
Yeah.
cast, the more retrieves, all this and that. You do all this just for one trophy fish, and when it comes, man, it's like sweets.
It
Oh
sort of correlates with football as well. I think that the
yeah,
game humbles you, at times as well, and because not everything is going to go your way. But again, if you persevere and you have that work ethic, and eventually, I think it definitely will pay off in the long run. Hey, Eric, before you get the final word and message here, which is well deserved, I again, I think for younger kids, athletes out there, there's so much competition in terms of playing sports, athletics, and then trying to move up that ladder and succeed. I'm wondering what you would say to those kids and to the athletes out there, just advice for them. Just in terms of trying to figure out what sport they're good at, if it is football, and just staying with it, and of course on the academic side as well.
um, to younger kids, I'd say probably play everything, do everything you can, because a lot of
Hmm.
people don't understand what they're good at and what they're not good at. Luckily, I was good at football and I picked it up, but I also played
Hmm.
soccer. I also played basketball. I tried
Yeah.
running track. No, I ran track, but
Hmm.
some basketball just didn't work out. Soccer,
Yeah.
you might catch me on the pitch here and there, but
Yeah.
just do everything you can. School wise, keep your head down. Same thing like sports, work, because it's easy to fail, but I mean, it's work.
Yeah.
Most likely, just work.
Yeah.
What else? Also, everybody's path is different. Just because you on Instagram and you see this one kid 5-star plus 60 something offers, that's just the
Mhm.
way God made his life. Your life ain't like everybody else's. You might have to grind a little bit harder. You might have to work a little
Mhm.
bit harder. You might have to go through the JUCO route. But at the end of the day, when you see him in the same NFL tryout, y'all both made it to the same place. Y'all
Yeah.
just both had you just had to work a little harder because it wasn't meant right now. But
Mhm.
your work is a little bit better than his just gifted, because you know things now. You met people,
Mhm.
you had to network, you had to go through a couple things. So that's just the main thing I say is not everybody. It's everybody's path is different.
Yeah, I think that's just again sound advice. I think it's just so well said, and I think people are gonna I think really resonate with again the advice you offered. Hey Eric, you get the final word and message here for family, friends, teammates, and coaches on the varsity football team at Norco High School, and hey the community at Norco, California. I wanted to give you the floor. I'm sure there are a lot of people you want to thank here, Eric.
They Daniel Bartlage. Let's see, the principal. I'm so sorry, I forget. I'm not great with names, but the principal,
Okay.
Dr. Wallace, the assistant principal, Dr. Baronic, the also another assistant principal,
Hmm.
Miss Connell, one of my teachers. Let me see, let me see. Coach Hudak, my receiver coach, and Coach Adam, my DB coach. Without them, I don't know where I'd be.
Hmm.
My coaches, they keep me intact, they keep me straight, they keep my body right. My teachers, they make me feel loved, they make me feel like I got a second home. Try to make sure I'm, well fed sometimes, try to, do what I can.
Hmm.
And just administration with the principal and stuff, just I appreciate the way they came in and helped me set up my classes right, helped me get my college what is it staircase right, trying to make sure I'm
Hmm.
on the right path. And yeah, I thank all those with open arms and my full heart. I really do appreciate that.
Well said. Hey, Eric, again, a true honor and privilege being able to speak with you. Again, congrats on your success, playing football at Norco High School, and, wishing you all the best here in your upcoming senior season, and can't wait to see what you do on the field.
Yep, I keep y'all posted. I got y'all. It's gonna be way better than 3-7, I promise.
Thank you, Eric.